इस पेज का लेना है आपको एक स्क्रीनशॉट, ठीक है।
ओके।
Okay, so very good evening, everyone. How are you all? Am I audible? Okay, I'm seeing that lots of people are being joined in the meeting. It's all right. Okay, so I'm looking over the messages. Please let me know if I'm audible to you all. Hello, everyone. Very good evening. Am I audible? Yes or no? You can use the chat box. Hi, Akshita. Ruturaj, very good evening. Okay. Rupa, very good evening. Kaustubh, very good evening. Okay. So many new peoples are there, right? Okay, okay. Yes, I can see lots of new people and new faces as well. Okay. So we'll be starting, right? So I hope that everyone is doing very good. And so because we are going one level deeper into machine learning. So before we start, I just want to quickly connect with you all. So on a scale of 1 to 5, just tell me that how confident you feel about machine learning right now. Just tell me about that. I'm looking over the chat box. You can scale 1, 2, 3, or 5, whatever it is. Very good evening, Ashwani. I recently connected with you on LinkedIn, if you remember. So yes, Ruturaj, yes, I remember. Okay, Kush says 3. Ashwani says excellent. Ankita, 4. Okay. Soham says 2. Okay, hi Soham. Welcome back. Ruturaj, 4. Okay, Rakshita, 4. Kostu also 4. Okay. Okay, where are the rest? आज सारे गए अपना अपना ईद मनाने, राइट? तेजस 3. Okay. Okay, okay. That's totally great, huh? Right, right. So, like, right. So, after our last session, which we have done, that was on data manipulation and the modeling part, right? But I know that you guys have completed, you all have completed till data manipulation part, right? You haven't gone with the manipulation, this one, modeling part, right? Just tell me about that thing. You all have done with the data manipulation part, right? Okay, I'm looking over the chat. Okay. So, but last session was okay, okay, Rudraj. Okay, no worries. This time we'll be doing that. Yes, yes, yes. Data manipulation part, right? Okay. Okay, so no worries. We'll be starting with that from the starting itself. I will be covering everything, right? Okay. So missed last session. Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay. Okay, okay. 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 So just tell me one more thing that if you guys, if you all remember, then we have done multiple things in data manipulation last time as well, in the last session as well, if I'm not wrong, right? So we have checked for the missing values, something like that. Do you remember for that? Yes or no? Just type yes or no itself directly. I'm looking over the chat box. Okay, I got my answer. Says no. Okay. Rudra says worked on Titanic dataset in last session. Yes. idea about that thing. I will be also moving with that, so that you can get a clear we can say understanding about that specific, right? Yeah. Okay. So so I can see that brains are slowly warming up, right? So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Honeywell Edge Honeywell Edge Future Skill Edge program, basically Honeywell Future Skill Edge program. Sorry for that. So today we are not just talking about AI. We are talking about you along with the AI. That is going to be future ready careers along with, right? So before we begin, just tell me that tell me one career in which you are interested in. Either it can be for data science, either it can be for artificial intelligence, or you want to be a AI analyst, you want to be a data scientist, you want to be a data analyst, whatever it can be. Just drop your opinions to me. That what do you want to be? I'm looking over the chats. Okay. Rudra says that AI quantum computing. Okay. AI. AI what? Not specifically AI, AI engineers, AI analyst. Okay. Ankita says data analyst. Some says editor. Okay. AI editor. Right. Okay. Okay. Jyoti says AI engineer. Rudra says AI researcher. That's totally great. Right? Yes. Definitely, definitely. Right. So before we move forward, let's have some quick hygiene rules, right? So please, everyone, join on time. Keep your mic muted if you have been allowed for speaking at that time. If you are not speaking, just keep your mics muted. Sorry. Use the chats only for the session related topics. Either it can be for the polls, answers, or whatever it is going to be, right? There should be no recordings, no screenshots, right? Because everything will be dropped in your WhatsApp group itself, along with the recordings and each and everything related to that, right? And along with the LMS as well, right? And for this session, I will ask everyone to keep your notebook along with a pen, so that, because we can say that knowledge without writing becomes motivation, but written knowledge becomes transformation, right? So if you are ready, please type ready in the chat box. How many of you are ready with that for today's session? Just drop ready in the chat box. Okay, Rudra says ready. Where are the rest? Okay, Som says ready. Sanika says ready. Okay, that's totally great, huh? Okay, we'll be starting, right? So today's agenda is basically simple and clear. We'll be moving with the recap that what we have covered in the last session. That was data manipulation part. Today we'll be seeing about, along with that, we'll be seeing the modeling part, that how basically the modeling is being done. Along with that, we'll be moving with the AI career readiness, that why it is why it matters a lot in today's era. Along with that, which we can say which skills are in demand, which emerging technologies are in demand, right? Along with the live demos, quiz, and we can say the question and answer, right? So according to this, we'll be moving ahead. Now, if we'll see, just pull out your phones, scan the QR code, and just mark down your attendance itself, right? Or just fill this form so that I should also know that how you are, how good you are in the modeling section, right? So just once you are done with this thing, just drop me a message over the chat box that you are done with that, so that we can proceed further, right? Okay, I can see Rutraj done with this thing, Soham done with this thing. Okay, Kastub done with that, Manish done. Rakshita, done. Sir, can you send the link? Okay. I'm dropping the link as well. You can have a look. I have shared in the this everyone chat box. Okay, Harshit done. Shanika done. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay. So I have shared in the chat box as well. Please do it fast and drop your message so that we can move, right? Okay. Okay, Ankita, done, done, done. Okay. So let's move ahead accordingly. So from last session we have started with the data manipulation part, right? So I'm just moving with this thing only. So I will be share just you can just tell me if it is visible to you all. So I will be moving to this Jupyter. I will be moving with Jupyter directly, right? It's your choice. You can move with anything. Either it can be Collab, either it can be Jupyter or whatever you want. You can directly move with that, right? So that me and you will be on same page. Okay. So is this visible to you all clearly? Right. For example, whatever I am writing, suppose is it visible, properly visible, or should I zoom in? Just tell me about this thing. Okay. Just drop your messages in the chat box. I'm looking over there. Okay. Okay. It is visible, right? Okay. Okay. Done, done, done. Done. So just have a look. For example, last time what we have done, whenever we have to start with any one of the data specifically, right? So what we used to do, we have to import some of the libraries. For example, one of the library is called to be our pandas. So this pandas library we generally use whenever we have to uh, do the data manipulation part, or we have to whenever we have to work with the data, right? So यहाँ पर एक चीज है, that is we used to write import pandas as PD, right? So this PD is a variable. Let's suppose I will write here Gaurav, right? Then also it will be working for me. See, it is working for me, right? But why always we used to write here PD only? Just tell me. I'm looking over the chat box. Can you just display the start line QR? Okay, can have a look. Scan this fast. Yes, Ruturaj, you are right. So you were at the last time, right? When I have explained this thing. Okay, Ian, done. So this PD is generally why we use this, that it is industry recognized, right? This one is basically industry recognized. That's why everyone used to write PD only. ठीक है, इसका सिंपल सा आंसर यही है. Now let's suppose I have to start with the things. For example, I have to read my file. How I am going to read that file? I will be writing here. I will be creating DF. I have created one variable that is called to be your DF, that is called to be your data frames, right? So data, because this pandas always work on the data frame itself. So what I have done, I have created a variable called to be the data frame only. DF is equals to, I will be using this pandas library to import the data. So pd dot read, I will be reading the file, reading the data that is in my CSV format, right? If it was going to be in Excel format, I will be writing here Excel format, right? So right now it is in the CSV format. I will be writing CSV. Again, after this one, I will be moving to my Titanic file and I will be copying my path, right? Again, I will come to here and again I will paste it over here, right? And this time, what I will be doing, I will be writing here. What we will be doing? How we are going to check the data? Just drop your messages in the chat box. How to check the data? And no worries, Shanu. How we are going to check the data? Just tell me about that thing. Data कैसे check करेंगे? Have you done this? In last class, you have gone with this thing, right? लास्ट क्लास में तो पढ़ा था ना सबने. Just tell me about this thing. How we are going to check the data? And obviously, I have stored this data. I have loaded this data into this variable, right? Now I have to check what exactly, how many, what columns we are having and what rows we are having, how we are going to check that. Shranu, you can move with the everyone chat section. There you will find the link, right? You can do from there as well. Priyanshi, data pattern say. Array, if I will be writing here print df, then I will be getting my data, right? But जब आप यहाँ पे print df लिखते हो, in that scenario, the data got printed as it is, right? वो structured format में नहीं आता. So what we used to do, instead of that, if we'll be writing only df, then you will be getting in the structured format. So जब ओनली इफ यू आर वर्किंग विद जुपिटर, ओनली इफ यू आर वर्किंग विद वी कैन से कोलैप, तो आप अगर डायरेक्ट डीएफ लिख करके प्रिंट कर दोगे, उसको रन करोगे अपने सेल को, तो वो डायरेक्ट आपका जो है वो इसका स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्मेट के अंदर आएगा पूरा का पूरा, लाइक एज यू आर सीइंग राइट नाउ. ओके, so now just have a look that we are having this much. These are the columns, that is passenger id, survived, passenger class, this is your passenger class, name is there, sex is there, age is there. This sib sp is your siblings and spouses, this parts is your parents and children's, ticket is there, fare is there, cabin is there, and embarked is there. So these are some columns basically, right? Now what we have to look for, that is, okay, just write df. Yes, yes, Ashwani, you are right. Okay. So now just what we are looking for. Now just I have to check for the total number of rows and the total number of columns. Although you can find it over here as well, that it is 891 rows and 12 columns. But what if someone asked you that you have to show me the to that only that you have to print only the total number of rows and the total number of columns? Then what we are going to do? We'll be just simply writing df dot shape, right? And I will be printing this one. So I will be getting the rows along with the columns. So I am having 891 rows and 12 columns. Now just tell me one thing. For example, whenever I used to, for example, I have to, whenever I used to write any function, right? For example, if I will be writing here df.info, right? So I will be getting the information about all the data, whatever the entire data set I am will be having I will be getting all the information related to that specific data, right? But the question is that here I have written df.shape, here I have written df.info. So here whenever I am creating my function, I have used this parenthesis, right? But why here I haven't used this parenthesis? Just tell me about this thing. Why we don't use parenthesis in that shape? Okay, Ruturaj, you have gone with the last classes, right? And you are answering this time. Okay, it's very great that you remember everything. So this time I will give the chance to another as well, right? So anyone else who would like to answer this question? Why we don't use parenthesis after this shape, although we use it everywhere at every function? Any idea about this thing? Okay. Okay. Shape is property, not method, I think. Okay. Some says no, sir. Okay. So the simple scenario is because the shape is called to be your keywords. It's not a function, right? ये function नहीं है, ये keyword है, इसीलिए हम इसके आगे parenthesis नहीं लगाते. अगर आप parenthesis लगा दोगे, it will not work. See, tuple object not callable. If we'll remove this, then only it will work, right? Now just have a look into this df.info. See, what does this info usually prints? It prints your all the information about your data set, that your data set contains total 891 entries. It means that it is having 891 rows, which starts from 0 to 890, right? Then your data is having total 12 columns that starts from 0 to 11, right? Then you can have a look over the column names, that is passenger ID, survived, passenger class, name, sex, age, siblings and spouses, parents and children's, tickets, fare, cabin, and the embarked, right? After that, we are having one section that is for non-null values. Means if we are looking for passenger ID, it is showing 891. It means that we are having 891 values are present in this passenger ID column, right? Accordingly, 714 values are present in this age column. It means total entries were 891. And here in age, we are having only 714 values. It means there are some missing values in age section, right? Again, if we'll look over this cabin, then it is having only 204 values. It means that here also we are having some missing values. In embarked, it is having 889. It means two values are missing here as well, right? So this is how we figured out that yes, my data is having some missing values. Again, after this one, you can see that it is also showing the type of the data type, right? It is also showing the data type of the specific column. That passenger ID belongs to integer, name belongs to object, age belongs to float, sub-sp belongs to integer, or we can say the cabin or embarked belongs to object, right? So accordingly it is. So यहाँ तक अभी सबको clear है? Yes or no? Just drop your messages in the chat box. Just drop your answers, drop your messages, drop your yes or no in the chat box. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, yes, yes. Som says yes, Rutra says yes. What about others? Okay, Nikhil says yes. Okay. Okay. Now just have a look. So once we are done with this thing, अब हमें ये पता चल गया that we are having some missing values, right? So now just have a look what we'll be doing. We'll be moving with one more function that is called to be df dot describe, right? Again, it will be followed by this parenthesis. Now, what does this describe usually do? Describe क्या करता है? ये जितने भी हमारे specific data set के अंदर जितने भी हमारे पास numerical columns होंगे, right? Whatever the numerical columns will be there, it will be showing the statistics of all the numerical columns, right? ये सारे numerical columns का हमको statistics देगा. Either it can be in the form of integer, either it can be in the form of float, right? For example, let's take the column for the passenger ID. So it is showing the total count of the passenger ID, mean value of the passenger ID, standard deviation of passenger ID, minimum value of passenger ID, 25, 50, and 75% of the passenger ID, and the maximum value of the passenger ID. Along with that, similarly, it is showing for the survived as well, passenger class as well, age as well, siblings and spouses, parents and children, and fare as well, right? So this is how it usually works with. Now coming towards the next point, that is okay. Yes, yes, Ankita, done. Now just have a look. Now moving ahead, for example, if someone asks you that what if, that I will repeat that if someone asked you that what if I have to check for all the specific columns, not only for the numerical columns, then what we'll be doing in this thing, in that scenario? Any idea for anyone? If someone asked you that we have to look for every specific column, not for this only numerical columns. I want all for every column. So what we'll be doing in that scenario? Any idea about this thing? Just drop yes or no. If no, I will be letting you know. Okay, Som says no, sir. What about others? Okay. Okay, Ankita says no. What about you, Ruturaj? Okay. Forgot, sir, this one. Okay, no worries. So what we'll be doing, see, I will be writing here df dot describe, right? That will be followed by this parenthesis. And in this parenthesis, you have to simply just pass one attribute. That is include is equals to all. Simple. And if we'll run this one, you can have a look. We are getting every single specific column. Passenger ID, survived passenger class, name is also there, sex is also there, age is there, sub-sp is there, parts, ticket, fare, cabin, and embarked. Everything is there, right? So is it clear to everyone now that how we can do this thing? Just drop your messages over the chat box. Yes or no? Okay. Ruturaj, done. Soham, yes. Okay, that's totally great. Right? Now just have a look. Moving towards the next point. That is, Now we have seen that yes, we were actually having the missing values, right? If I will be writing here df dot info, right? So we have seen that we were having some missing values in age column, in cabin column, in embarked column. But where we were having the missing values, कौन से column के कौन से row पे missing values है? How we are going to check that, right? So that is the question. Do you know about this thing? How we are going to check this? How that where we are having the missing values? Yes, everyone. Okay. No, no, no. Okay. Just have a look. If I will be writing here df dot is null, that will be followed by this parenthesis, right? So if I will be printing this df dot is null itself, you can have a look that wherever you will be having the missing values, there it will be marked as true, and wherever the values will be present, there it will be marked as false only, right? So now you can have a look that at cabin, on cabin 0th row, it is showing true. It means that there was missing values. Now if I will be checking for, I will be doing here df dot head. Now you can have a look that cabin is having nan here. Nan means yes, it is having the missing values, right? Here you are having the missing values. But एक simple सा scenario है that अगर हमारे पास data बहुत बड़ा है, although it is for only 891 rows, but still we are unable to count that how many missing values are there, right? अब हम true 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 कितनी time उसको ढूंढने बैठेंगे, right? So instead of this, what we used to do, we used to simply look for this thing df dot is null dot any, right? So what it will be doing, it will be directly combining the missing values that either specific this passenger id column is having any missing values or not. So it is saying that false. It means that this passenger id column is not having any missing values, right? So where we are having true only at age, at cabin and embarked. So these are the three columns where we are having the missing values, right? But the question again comes over here that how many missing values are there? We came to know about this thing that in three columns we are having the missing values, but how many missing values are there? Right? The question again comes over here. So anyone is having the answer? If yes or no, you can drop your answers in the chat box. Yes or no, everyone? Okay, Soam says nine. How Soam? How it is nine? Anyone else? Sir, it shows nine false. No, no, no. False means that yes, that column is not having any specific missing values. जहाँ पे true होगा ना वहीं पे missing values है. जहाँ पे false है वहाँ पे missing values नहीं है. Right? So df.info gives the count of values present and we can subtract it from total count. So it's going to be a long process, Rituraj. Right? Now just have a look. What if I will be writing here df dot is null dot sum. If I will be adding all these, then I will be having the values. Now just have a look. Passenger ID is having 0 missing values. Age is having 177 missing values. Cabin is having 687 missing values. And embarked is having 2 missing values, right? So this is how we usually check for the number of missing values, that how much we are having. Now the question again comes over here that what if someone has asked you to check for the total missing values on your entire data set? Then what you will be doing? Then you this time you will be saying, sir, in तीनों को plus कर देंगे. We will be adding these three, right? And you will be getting the answer. But what if instead of this I will be writing is null dot sum, again dot sum. Here this time I will be I have written two times dot sum dot sum. Now you can have a look that I am getting the total number of missing values, right? अभी अभी बताओ मेरे को इन चैट बॉक्स, जस्ट ड्रॉप योर मैसेज इन द चैट बॉक्स. आर द थिंग्स बीइंग easy because of these functions? We can do data manipulation right now at the easiest point, right? How many of you think about this thing? Yes, okay. Rudra says, yes, sir, we can do that. Soham says, yes, sir, obviously, right? Obviously, we can do these things. So it becomes easy for us, right? Now, after this one, let's come to the more important point. So we have covered the this thing, that is your data. We have seen that, we have looked over the data. We have started with the data cleaning part, right? Now we'll be moving with the data manipulation part, where we'll be handling this missing values. अब हम इस missing values को handle करेंगे, that how we are going to handle it. Let's start with that, right? So see, अब यहाँ पे जब भी हमारे पास missing values होती है ना, we have two scenarios. We have only two scenarios. Either we are going to fill that missing values, or either we are going to drop that missing values or a specific column itself, right? So there are only two scenarios. Now, how we are going to decide that which column we have to drop and which column we have to fill? Just tell me about this thing. Do you have any idea about this? That how we are going to decide that which column we are going to fill and which column we are going to drop? Just tell me about. I'm looking over the chats, everyone. You can say yes or no. If you know about this thing, just say yes. If you don't know, just say no. Okay. Okay. Okay, you all are writing, I guess, right? I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, Som says yes, sir. It was on 5:36, right? I'm not sure about this thing. Ankita says yes, sir. Okay, she knows about this thing. Okay, 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 done, done, done. Okay, yeah. See, whenever you will be having the missing values now, you have to look for the percentage. Okay, just be column में whatever the column you are having, if that specific column is having the highest number, highest percentage rather than rest of the all, in terms of अगर किसी का 70% से ज्यादा है, ठीक है, if if one specific column is having more than 70% of missing values, then we can easily drop that specific column, right? So let's check the percentage of all of these. So how we are going to check the percentage? We'll be writing df dot isnal, right, dot mean multiplied by 100, right? So you can see that you will be getting the percentage for all of these. So you can have that, you can have a look that age is having 90% of missing values, cabin is having 77% of missing values, and a marked is having 0.2% of missing values. So it means that cabin is having 77% of missing 77% of the missing values are there in cabin column, right? So instead of filling this column, we are going to drop this specific column. Now the question comes over here that how we are going to drop it, right? So see, there are multiple scenarios to drop the specific columns. So what we'll be doing, we'll be moving with the drop function, right? So I will be writing here df dot drop followed by this parenthesis, right? And in this parenthesis, I will be passing columns is equals to, here I will be writing the column name. So I will be copying this one. I will remove this thing, right? And I will run this cell. So you can just have a look that I have stated that df dot drop, that from this data frame df, we are going to drop this column which is named as cabin, right? So if you will scroll it here, you can see after this fare, we are not having the cabin column. See here, above this embarked, we were having below this fare, after this fare column, we were having the cabin column, but here we are not having the cabin column after this fare column, right? So this is how we generally drop a specific column from the data set in the cell itself. But what if I will be doing here df dot head, right, to check my main data? So if I will check my main data, now you can have a look that again it is showing me the cabin column. but we have dropped this one over here, but again it is showing to me, right? So what does it means that whenever you use this df.drop along with the column name, it generally drop the column from the specific cell only. So it has dropped this column, but from this 19th cell only, not from the main data set, right? So to drop it from the main data set, what we usually used to do, so I will be writing here df dot drop followed by this parenthesis. Here I will be writing columns is equals to cabin, right? And after this one, I will be putting one comma and I will be writing here in place is equals to true, right? If I will be writing in place is equals to true, it means that I have made the changes into my main data set, the entire data set which we were storing in our df column, right? So now if I will be writing df dot head, now you can have a look that if I will scroll it down, that the cabin column has been removed from the entire data set itself, right? So is it clear till here for everyone? Yes or no? Please drop your messages in the chat box. I'm looking over the chats. Okay, Ankita says yes. Rutura says yes. Som says yes. Where are the rest? Where are you all? रह गए पीछे छूट गए? Okay, Priyanka says yes. Done. Okay. Okay. Okay, done. Right. So now just have a look. Now we'll be starting with the rest of the important part. I will be again writing df dot is null dot sum to check over the missing values, right? So now I am having only two columns where the missing values are there, right? One was first is embarked and the another one is age, right? So this we have to fill for this thing. Now how we are going to fill these columns, right? So what I will be doing, how I am going to fill this, we will be filling this using fill function, and we will be passing the either we can say mean, either median, or we can say we are going to pass it with the mode, right? So we'll be using these three things. Now, the question comes over here that when we are going to apply mean, when we are going to apply mode, when we are going to apply median. So how many of you know about this thing? That whenever we are going to fill any specific column, then how we are going to use this mean, mode, median? कैसे use करेंगे? Any idea about this thing? Just say yes or no. If you don't know about this thing, it's fine. Just drop your answers in the chat box. I'm looking over the chats. Okay, I've got my answer. Ankita says yes. Okay. What about rest? Do you know about this thing? Okay. Okay. Priyanka says no. Okay. What about rest? Okay. Som says, sir, add formula. Okay. Which one? Which one? Just tell me about that, Som. Which formula we can apply? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now just have a look, right? So see, I will be doing here df.info, right? Followed by this parenthesis. So see, एक simple सा logic लगा लो. Whenever you are having integer or float, you can go with mean or median, right? And whenever you will be having object, you can directly move with mode, right? So these are the two terms. I will repeat again. If you are having, if your column is your if the data type of your column is in the form of integer or float, you can go with mean or median, right? And if it is in the form of object, you can go with mode itself, right? So if we'll check for age, we were having the missing values in age itself. So we were having age is having float. So let's try for the median, right? So how we are going to apply this thing? So that is the main concern. So what I will be doing, I will be writing the column name, right? So I'm going to apply this on df of age, right? Df of age dot fill na, that I have said that on this column, on this specific column, I am going to apply this fill na function. Now, what does this fill na function usually do? This fill na function is used to fill all the missing values from that entire specific column, whichever you have selected. So we have selected this age column. So wherever we will be having the missing values, that will be filled by this using this function that is called to be fill na. Let's suppose I have written here 2. So wherever we'll be having the missing values, all the at every place 2 will be filled with that, right? But we are not going to do like that. We are going to take the median of this entire specific column, that is age, and we will be passing that median into this age, right? अभी सिंपल सा समझाता हूँ, देखो. For example, I'm having my we are having some age. Just come to here, right? Just have a look. See, for example, if we talk about age, right? एज के बारे में देखते हैं, तो if we are having some age like 20, 25, 30, 31, 34, 35. We are having some age like this, right? And I'm having some missing values as well. For example, here I am having missing values, here I am having missing values, after this I am having missing values, after this I am having missing values, right? So अब यहाँ पे भी मिसिंग वैल्यूज है मेरे पास, यहाँ पे भी मिसिंग वैल्यूज है, यहाँ पे भी मिसिंग वैल्यूज है, यहाँ पे भी, right? We are having these missing values. Now I have applied one formula, that is df of h, df of h, right? That is equals to my dot fill na, fill na, right? So the, and here in this fill na I have passed 2, right? So ये जहां जहां भी missing values होगा ना, wherever you will be having these missing values, there it will be writing 2, 2, 2, 2, right? So 2 will be 2 will be replaced over the missing values itself, right? Now the scenario comes over here. If I will directly pass 2, or let's suppose I have directly passed 21, so the age is going to be according to this one which we have filled right now. So agar let's suppose I have taken the ticket, right? I have taken the tickets for a child, a small child, right? I have taken this for a small child itself. Small child ticket that has been for around under 10 years, right? But the age is missing for that specific child, right? हमें पता है कि उसका एज था 10, बट एज इज मिसिंग फ्रॉम हेयर एंड वी हैव पास्ड 21. सो यहाँ पे ब्लंडर हो गया, यहाँ पे ब्लंडर हो गया अगेन. किसके अंदर? इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ टिकट्स, टिकट्स के अंदर ब्लंडर हो गया यहाँ पे, राइट? समझ में आया इतना? एवरीवन, यस और नो? जस्ट ड्रॉप योर मैसेजेस. Just drop your messages in the chat box. Yes or no? Have you got the point? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, Rudra says, Ankita says, Swam says no. Okay. Priyanka says yes. See, Soham, simple सा concept है. Let's suppose कि हमारे पास कुछ एज दी हुई है, ठीक है? आई एम हैविंग द एज, एज के बीच में कुछ मिसिंग वैल्यूज हैं एंड सम एज आर फिल्ड, राइट? सो जो एज में मिसिंग वैल्यूज है ना, अगर वहां पे हम कुछ भी रैंडम नंबर पास कर देंगे, ठीक है? और हमने जो टिकट खरीदी थी दैट वाज फॉर स्मॉल चाइल्ड, वो स्मॉल चाइल्ड की टिकट थी, और हमने उस स्मॉल चाइल्ड का एज नहीं लिखा हुआ था, तो हमने उसका लिख दिया 21. तो टिकट के प्राइसिंग में तो डिफरेंस आ गया ना, राइट? सो यही सारी चीजों की वजह से वी डोंट यूज टू डायरेक्टली पास एनीथिंग इन दिस फिल एन, ठीक है? सो व्हाट वी यूज टू डू, वी यूज टू टेक द इंस्टेड ऑफ मीडियन और मोड ऑफ दैट स्पेसिफिक कॉलम, और वो कॉलम का मीडियन और मोड लेकर, मीन लेकर के हम उसको स्पेसिफिकली पास कर देते हैं. नाउ हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू टेक द median of this specific column? So again I will be writing that df of age, right? That I am going to take the median of this specific column, right? इस कॉलम का मैं मीडियन लूंगा और उसको मैं पास करूंगा फिलेने के अंदर, और फिलेने क्या करेगा, वो इस कॉलम में जहां जहां भी मिसिंग वैल्यूज होंगी उसके अंदर वो पास कर देगा, राइट? नाउ इफ आई विल अगेन राइट हियर df of age, इज इक्वल्स टू, एंड जो भी मेरा ये था उसको मैंने उसी एज वाले कॉलम के अंदर वापस से स्टोर कर दिया सारा का सारा। राइट? अभी समझ में आया सबको, यस और नो? या फिर दोबारा समझाऊं? कैन वी शेयर द कोड अगेन? यस यस वी कैन। डन डन डन, यस यस, समझ में आया सबको? व्हाट अबाउट रेस्ट? हैव यू गॉट द पॉइंट्स दैट हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू फिल दिस? ओके, yes, done. Okay, thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Right. Now just move. Now just let's have a look. Again, if I will be writing df dot is null dot sum, right? Now you can have a look that my age column is having zero missing values now. Now one column is left, that is for embarked. So embarked, we are having two missing values. So again, I will be writing the same df of embarked dot fill in followed by this parenthesis df dot df of embarked, right? Dot. So this time what will be taking? So embarked was object. So हम क्या लेंगे? Mean, mode और median. What we are going to take? Just drop your messages. Drop your messages in the chat box. I am looking over there. What we are going to apply? Mean, mode or median? Soham says median. Okay. Priyanka says mode. Okay. Rutura says mode. Okay. Tanu says mode. Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Ruba says mode. Ankita says mode. Yes, obviously. Soham, we are having object over here. Data type is object, right? I have told that if you are having integer or float, then you can use mean or median. But whenever you will be having object, at that time you have to go with the mode, right? So this time we'll be using the mode. I will write here mode, okay, along with this parenthesis, and I will run this one. Now you can have a look, and let's suppose store this in the same specific column only, right? That is going to be embarked. I have stored in the same column, right? Now, if at this time I will be writing df dot is null dot sum. Now you can have a look that again it is showing me that embarked column is having two missing values, right? Does anyone have idea that why it is showing again? Any one of you, just tell me about this thing. Yes or no? Just drop your answers in the chat. If no, it's fine. I will be letting you know. Okay, I'm looking over the chats, everyone. Okay. Ankita says no. Okay, no worries. What about rest? Any idea, Ruturaj? Any idea about this thing? No, sir. I think. Okay, no worries. See, for example, whenever you will be moving with this mode, na, at that time you have to place 0, right? Which means that I will show you that why you need to use this 0. See, if we'll be running this one, which one is coming at top? So whatever the mode, what does that mode specific means? Mode means the highest occurrence, the highest reoccurrence in the specific values. जो वैल्यू बार बार आपके जो वैल्यू सबसे ज्यादा बार आएगी, लाइक दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द मोड, राइट? तो जो मोड होगा वो सबसे ऊपर लाई करेगा, which is on the top, will be selecting that only. So on 0th s is there, right? So we'll be taking the 0th one. So that's why we used to write it over here in the form of 0. Now if we'll run this one, now you can have a look that embarked has become 0 itself, right? So have you got this point now? अभी आया समझ में सब? Yes or no? Okay. Som says yes, yes. Okay. Yes, right. Let's move ahead. So just see, till here we have completed with the this thing that is called to be your सिंपल सिनेरियो, डेटा मैनिपुलेशन पार्ट, राइट। जब आपके सारे कॉलम्स पे 0 0 0 0 मिसिंग वैल्यूज आ गई, इट मीन्स दैट यस वी आर डन विद दिस थिंग, वी हैव कंप्लीटेड आर, वी आर completing complete we are completed with our data manipulation part, right? Now we'll be starting with our data manipulation part, right? That how we are going to do our data manipulation part. So the first, not for the data manipulation part, basically the modeling part, right? Sorry for that. So how we are going to start with that? So before start moving with the creating the models, we used to do the feature selection, right? How many of you know about that thing? About feature selection? Everyone knows, I guess. You have gone with the classes, master classes as well, right? Just say yes or no if you know about that or no. Okay, Ankita says yes. Rudra says selecting the most needed data only. Yes, you are absolutely right. Just have a look here as well. For examples, if I will be writing here df.columns, right? So I will be getting all the column names. That is passenger ID, survived, passenger class, name, sex, age, CBSP, parch, ticket, fare, and embarked, right? But here, if we'll have a look, then passenger ID, we don't want this one, passenger ID, right? Because केस का कोई नीड ही नहीं है, नेम का भी कोई नीड है ही नहीं, राइट, एंड टिकट्स का भी कोई नीड है ही नहीं, बिकॉज फेयर इज देयर। नेम का नीड नहीं है बिकॉज वी कैन वर्क विद सेक्स, राइट, दैट इज मेल और फीमेल। और सर पैसेंजर आईडी का हमको नीड ऐसे ही नहीं है बिकॉज दैट इज हैविंग टोटली यूनिक वैल्यूज, राइट। सो इनको हम ड्रॉप कर देते हैं डायरेक्टली। Now, how we are going to drop this thing? That is the another important scenario. That how we are going to do this. So again, I will be writing df.drop, right? That will be followed by this parenthesis. Again, here I will be writing columns is equals to, I will be putting this thing. Here I will be passing passenger ID, right? After that, I will be passing the name, putting comma, again name, again comma, then again tickets, right? And I will be writing here in place is equals to true, right? So this has been done. Now if I will check for df.head, df.columns, now you can have a look that I am having only this columns are there, right? So we have dropped with this thing. So this is how we used to select the features. That we have selected these features, that is survived column, passenger class, sex, age, CBSP, parch, fare, and the embarked one, right? Rest we have dropped everything. Now again, a new thing comes over here that we have to define, we have to divide that, basically we have to define our x और y, we can say, right? हमको x और y डिफाइन करना पड़ता है मॉडल बनाने के लिए। क्यों करना पड़ता है? टू स्प्लिट दैट डेटा इनटू टू सेवरल पार्ट्स, राइट, ट्रेनिंग एंड टेस्टिंग वन। ठीक है, सो अब उसको डिफाइन कैसे करते हैं? तो लेट्स सपोज x इज इक्वल्स टू, आई हैव टेकन दिस कैपिटल x, राइट? सो हियर विल बी यूजिंग x is equals to where we are going to have our, will be dropping this survived column, right? हमें survived पे देखना है that हमें अपना जो टारगेट बनाना है, जो हमें अपना टारगेट बनाना है वो हमेशा y में होता है। y always have your target, ठीक है, और x के अंदर बाकी का सारा डेटा जाता है। तो नाउ दिस df वी वर हैविंग दीज कॉलम्स। अब इस कॉलम्स में से अगर मैं सिर्फ सर्वाइव वाले को ड्रॉप करके y के अंदर स्टोर कर दूं, तो मेरे पास बाकी का सारा डेटा जो होगा वो x के अंदर चला गया, और ये जो टारगेट वेरिएबल था मेरा वो मेरा y के अंदर आ गया, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग, आई विल बी सिंपली राइटिंग ओवर हियर df डॉट ड्रॉप followed by this parenthesis, and here I will be directly passing survived, right, comma x is equals to 1, right? And this is something like this thing, and here I will be writing df of survived, right? If I will run this one, now you can have a look. Now what we have done here itself, what does this access means and what does this one means? The access का मतलब columns, right? जब हम one लिखते हैं, it means it is going to represent for the columns itself, right? कि वो columns को represent कर रहा है। तो हमने columns में से ड्रॉप कर दिया सर्वाइव वाला कॉलम और उसको दोबारा से स्टोर कर दिया y के अंदर, right? अभी समझ में आया? हैव यू गॉट द पॉइंट स्टिल हियर एवरीवन? यस और नो, जस्ट ड्रॉप योर आंसर्स इन द चैट बॉक्स. ओके, अंकिता सेज यस, सोम सेज यस. कहीं पे भी लगे ना दैट यू आर मिसिंग समथिंग या फिर कुछ भी बाउंस आ रहा है, जस्ट यू कैन डायरेक्टली आस्क मी, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट समथिंग यू कैन डायरेक्टली मूव विथ, राइट? अभी हमने यहाँ पे दो चीजें कर दी, अपना एक्स और वाई डिफाइन कर दिया, राइट? नाउ इट्स टाइम टू स्टार्ट विद द मॉडल इटसेल्फ, राइट? अब मॉडल को लिए हम उसको अब दो पार्ट में डेटा को डिवाइड करेंगे, राइट? सो फॉर दैट, फॉर splitting our data into two parts, we have to use some of the libraries. For example, I will be using from sklearn, right? From sklearn dot model selection, import train test split. We'll be using this library, right? Now the thing comes over here. Let it run. Okay, done. So how we are going to how we are going to define this? That how much data is going to be in the part of training and how much data is going to be in the part of the testing one, right? So I will be writing here x train, comma, x test, comma, y, this will be small, y train, comma, y test, right? Is equals to train test split followed by this parenthesis, right? So we have applied this function, right? यहाँ पे हमने अपना वेरिएबल बना लिया सबका एक एक. उसके बाद हमने ये जो इंपोर्ट करा था ये फंक्शन अप्लाई कर दिया यहाँ पे, राइट? नाउ अब हम इसके अंदर अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट पास करेंगे. तो जो आर्ग्यूमेंट जो हमारे सबसे पहले पास होते हैं, दैट इज योर डेटा. अब हमें यहाँ पे अपना डेटा डालना है. सो आई हैव स्टोर्ड माई ऑल डेटा इन एक्स एंड वाई, राइट? सो आई विल राइट हियर एक्स कॉमा वाई, right? After that we have to define, I will again put one comma, and after this one we have to define that how many how in like what's at what percentage, or we can say at what ratio you want to divide your data. For example, it's the human nature that whenever human divides the data, that is 8 raised to 2, means 80% of training data, 20% testing data के अंदर वो divide करता है specifically, right? Now what we will be doing, we'll be defining here the training, right? So I will be writing here test size, right? So I will be writing here test size is equals to 0.2, which means that it is going to be on the 20%, right? तो हमने 20% अपना टेस्ट साइज डिफाइन कर दिया. इट मीन्स कि 80% हमारा किस में गया? टेस्टिंग में गया, ऑब्वियसली, राइट? एंड हियर आई विल बी यूजिंग रैंडम स्टेट इज इक्वल्स टू 42, right? So I have used these things. Now, what does this random state 42 means? Now just have a look over here. For example, right? For example, I was having my data set. Okay. For example, I was having my data set. This was my data set, right? So this was my data set. This was my training data, and this was my testing data, right? So this was my two data sets. So this was having 80%, this was having 20%. ठीक है? ट्रेनिंग में मेरे पास 80% डेटा था, 20 में मेरे पास टेस्टिंग डेटा 20% डेटा था. ठीक है, 80-20 का रेशियो था. नाउ लेट्स सपोज कि मैंने अपना मॉडल बनाया, मैंने अपने मॉडल के अंदर डेटा भेजा, या फिर लेट्स सपोज कि मैंने अपना बोला कि ये मेरा पास होल डेटा था. ठीक है, अब मैंने इसको बोला कि मेरे को इसको टू पार्ट्स के अंदर स्प्लिट करना है, ट्रेनिंग एंड टेस्टिंग. ठीक है, तो इसको जब मैं स्प्लिट करूंगा, तो लेट्स सपोज कि मेरे पास यहाँ पे कुछ बैड वैल्यूज स्टार्टिंग में ही प्रेजेंट है. ठीक है, और इसमें सारी गुड वैल्यूज आ गई. ठीक है, जब मैंने इसको डिवाइड करा तो इसमें कुछ बैड वैल्यूज थी, इसमें गुड वैल्यूज थी. ठीक है, तो यहाँ से सबसे पहले जो स्टार्टिंग वाला डेटा था 1 2 3, तो यहाँ से सबसे पहले 80% जो डेटा था वो उठ करके चला गया सीधा ट्रेनिंग के अंदर, और बचा हुआ 20% वो आ गया मेरा टेस्टिंग के अंदर, राइट? अभी इतना समझ में आया? यहाँ तक क्लियर है सबको? यस और नो? जस्ट ड्रॉप योर मैसेजेस, बी फास्ट एवरीवन. यस सर, यस सर, यस सर, ओके ओके ओके. जस्ट हैव अ लुक. ठीक है, अब यहाँ तक 80% हमारा बैड डेटा उठ करके आ गया इसके अंदर और गुड डेटा चला गया इसके अंदर. तो जब मैं अपने मॉडल को जब मैं अपने मॉडल को ट्रेन करूंगा तो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी ट्रेन्ड ऑन दिस ट्रेनिंग डेटा, राइट? अब ट्रेनिंग डेटा में जितना भी डेटा आया था दैट वाज बैड डेटा, राइट? तो मेरा मॉडल क्या हो गया, माई मॉडल बिकेम बैड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट बैड डेटा, राइट? सो इसलिए बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन ओनली वी यूज टू यूज random state, random state, right? Now this random state usually used for shuffling the data, राइट? ये उसको रेंडमली शफल कर देगा, सबको सारी जगह से शफल कर देगा, एंड देन 80% विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड इन दिस वन एंड 20% विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड इन दिस वन, राइट? तो अब जब ये शफल हो जाएगा तो उसके हमारे पास सारा का सारा बैड डेटा एक ही जगह जाने के हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा कम चांसेस होंगे, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाई वी यूज टू यूज दिस रेंडम स्टेट, एंड वो जो 42 वी हैव यूज्ड दैट इज अ सीरीज, this 42 is a series which is the best one in this random state itself, right? So is it clear to everyone that how we are going, how we can usually split the data and how we used to split the data? Clear? This concept is clear for everyone, yes or no? You can drop your messages. Okay, Som says yes, Ankita says crystal clear. Okay, Priyanka says yes, Ritura says 42 is series, ठीक है? जैसे होता है ना, like for example, Splitsvilla 16. So that is going to be her series only, right? So it's a series only. तो random state जो है वो हमने 42 वाला यूज करा है. That is what, right? Is it done till here? Done. Okay, yes. Okay, let's move ahead, right? So see what we are going to do now. We have splitted our data. We have done till here. We have splitted our data, right? Now it's time to create our first specific model, right? So that let's create logistic regression itself, right? So logistic regression create करने के लिए what we are going to do? We'll be using one of the library again, that is from sklearn dot, again sklearn dot linear model, linear underscore model. We are going to use linear regression or logistic regression, sorry, logistic regression, right? So I will be running this thing. What happened? Okay, sorry, I forgot import logistic regression, right? So we'll be using this thing. We are going to use our logistic regression. I'm now just look over the thing, look over the things. To create a model, to create a model in this machine learning is very much easiest part, right? So now just have a look at how we are going to create it. I will be writing here logistic model, right? And equals to, I will be directly writing this thing, logistic regression along with this parenthesis. And if I will run this cell, you can have a look that my model has been created. That was simple, right? Thana easy. Just say it, just drop the messages. Was it easy or not? I'm looking over the chats. It was easy or what? What do you all think? Okay, Swam says, yes, easy. Right. Yes, it was easy. Right. So just I have written that specific thing and my model has been created. Now, what I have to do, I have to pass my data in this specific model. Right. Now, अब इसको समझते हैं that how we usually pass our data in the specific models, right? So what we used to do, let's suppose मेरे पास ये डेटा था. I was having this data set. That was, let's use Miro only. Is the screen share stopped or something like that? Is the screen visible or it is stopped? Okay, screen is not visible. Okay. Okay, because my Chrome got quitted. My Chrome has been quitted. Just wait for a moment. Let me reopen it. Okay, done. Now just tell me, is it visible to you all or still it is not? Is it visible? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I've got, yes, it's visible. Okay, done. Right. Now just have a look. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Now just have a look. Right. So we were here. So I will be writing here. That was logistic model is equals to logistic regression with this parenthesis, right? Now this time what we have to do, I was opening this Miro only, right? Okay, just have a look over here. Okay, so see, for example, I'm having my data set. Okay, I'm having my data set. So this is something my data set, right? Is it visible now? The screen is visible to you all, right? Okay, see, so this was my this is somewhat I was having my data set, right? So I have breaked this data set into two parts, training and testing, right? So training and testing. So training was having two parts. ट्रेनिंग के भी दो पार्ट्स थे, which was X train and Y train, right? अब टेस्टिंग के भी दो पार्ट्स थे, X test एंड Y टेस्ट, राइट? दो पार्ट दोनों के थे, क्लियर? अब देखो, जैसे मैंने अपना एक मॉडल बनाया, मैंने लिखा लॉजिस्टिक लॉजिस्टिक मॉडल इज इक्वल्स टू लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन फॉलोड बाय दिस पैरेंथेसिस, राइट? अब मेरे को इसके अंदर डेटा पास करना है, तो डेटा कौन सा पास करूंगा? मैं डेटा पास करूंगा ट्रेनिंग वाला, राइट? तो ट्रेनिंग वाले कौन से दोनों डेटा थे? एक्स ट्रेन और वाई ट्रेन, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल पास हेयर दैट, मैं यहाँ पे लिखता हूँ मॉडल डॉट फिट along with the X train, राइट, और Y train, ठीक है? तो ये दोनों मैंने यूज कर लिया मॉडल को फिट करने के लिए, यानी कि मॉडल को ट्रेन करने के लिए, राइट? इतना क्लियर हुआ सबको? यस और नो? जस्ट टेल मी अबाउट दिस थिंग। इतना क्लियर हुआ कि हमने मॉडल को ट्रेन करने के लिए ये दोनों चीजों को यूज कर लिया? अब हमारे पास, राइट, यस यस यस, राइट। अब हमारे पास दो चीजें बच गई, एक्स टेस्ट और वाई टेस्ट, ये टेस्टिंग वाला बच गया हमारे पास, राइट। तो जब मैं मॉडल को ट्रेन कर लूंगा, अब मेरे को ये भी तो देखना है ना दैट व्हाट माय मॉडल इज प्रिडिक्टिंग, प्रिडिक्टिंग, राइट, मेरा मॉडल क्या प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है। तो जब मैं मॉडल को प्रिडिक्शन चेक करूंगा, तो आई विल राइट हियर मॉडल डॉट प्रिडिक्ट। नाउ दिस टाइम आई विल पास हियर एक्स टेस्ट, ठीक है। तो एक्स टेस्ट किस लिए यूज हुआ, फॉर चेकिंग द मॉडल प्रिडिक्शन, ठीक है। मॉडल प्रिडिक्शन के लिए, मॉडल का प्रिडिक्शन चेक करने के लिए हम एक्स टेस्ट यूज करेंगे। अब बच गया हमारे पास वाई टेस्ट, राइट। तो जब मैंने मॉडल को अपना डेटा देकर ट्रेन कर दिया, मैंने ये भी चेक कर लिया कि मेरा मॉडल क्या प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है, लेकिन अब हमारा सिर्फ एक चीज बच गया कि चलो हमने सब कुछ कर लिया, बट व्हाट इज माय मॉडल प्रिडिक्टिंग राइट और रॉन्ग। तो मैं अपने मॉडल को इवेल्युएट करूंगा ना दैट मेरा मॉडल सही प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है या गलत प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है, राइट। सो फॉर दैट इवेल्युएशन, ठीक है, फॉर दैट इवेल्युएशन आई विल राइट हियर इवेल्युएशन वी यूज दिस वाई टेस्ट, राइट। अभी समझ में आ गया चारों चीजें कहाँ यूज होती हैं, चारों अलग अलग जगहों पे। हैव यू गॉट द पॉइंट्स एवरीवन, यस और नो? जस्ट ड्रॉप योर आंसर्स इन द चैट बॉक्स। अगर दोबारा पूछना है तो यू कैन आस्क मी अगेन। बी फास्ट एवरीवन। हैव यू गॉट द पॉइंट्स और नॉट? यस और नो? ओके, okay, okay. Yes, sir. Priyanka says yes. Okay, done. Right. So accordingly, we used to do over here as well. ठीक है. What we used to do here will be directly moving with the our fitting part, right? So I will write here logistic model is equals to model dot fit, and along with this, I will be passing x test, x train, sorry, x train comma y train, right? If I will run this one, sorry. Sorry, here I have to write log underscore model. Let's remove this thing. What happened? Okay, now it should work. Okay, I will run this one again. X train, Y train, model dot fit. So we have passed these two things. Okay, just wait. I will restart my kernel once again. Restart and run all this. Yeah. I remember that why we are getting the errors, right? Now just have a look. If I will be writing here, na, log dot model, log underscore model dot fit extreme, extreme, comma, y train, right? Y will be small, y train. If I will be running this one, you will be getting the error. Now just have a look over the error. That could not convert a string to float male, right? So this male we were having in the sex column. Sex के column में था ना male और female, इसके अंदर sex के column में. तो ये ना string के format में है. And important note this thing that whenever we will be moving with the prediction part, right? So whenever we'll be moving with the prediction part, at that time we have to move only with the numerical columns. So हमने इसको float में convert करा ही नहीं, right? So अब now how to convert this into the float specifically, right? तो आओ इसको देखते हैं. So before जब हम x और y को define करते हैं ना, उससे पहले हमको इसको define करना होता है. So we will be using the लेबल एनकोडिंग, राइट, लेबल एनकोडिंग का यूज करेंगे. तो लेबल एनकोडिंग क्या करता है, आपके किसी भी स्ट्रिंग को वो फ्लोट के अंदर कन्वर्ट कर देता है. सो हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डू दिस, आई विल बी राइटिंग फ्रॉम sklearn dot pre processing import import label encoder, right, label encoder. So let's write another thing as well. इसी में लिख देते हैं, ठीक है. सो आई विल बी राइटिंग हियर le is equals to label encoder, followed by this parenthesis, right? And after this one I will be using this thing. ये लगा दिया लेबल इनकोडिंग। अब मैं इसमें वो लिखूंगा जिस भी कॉलम के ऊपर मेरे को लगाना है। सो आई हैव टू पुट इट ऑन df ऑफ 6, राइट? 6 वाले कॉलम के ऊपर लगाएंगे दैट le डॉट fit underscore transform followed by this parenthesis, and in this parenthesis I will be passing again df of 6, right? नाउ व्हाट डज दिस फिट और ट्रांसफॉर्म क्या करता है? तो फिट और ट्रांसफॉर्म बेसिकली क्या करता है, आपके स्पेसिफिक कॉलम का स्टैंडर्ड मीन और मीन लेके और स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन लेकर के उसको 0 और 1 की फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करता है स्पेसिफिकली, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट दिस फिट ट्रांसफॉर्म यूजुअली डू। सो एक और कॉलम था हमारे पास एम्बार्क्ड, इसको भी कर ही लेते हैं, ठीक है? सो आई विल बी राइटिंग हियर डीएफ ऑफ एम्बार्क्ड दैट इज इक्वल्स टू le डॉट fit underscore transform followed by this parenthesis df of this thing, right? So if I will run this one, now you can have a look कि अगर मैं इसको रन करूंगा, so now my model has been fitted properly, right? अभी समझ में आया सबको? यहाँ तक क्लियर हुआ सबको? Yes or no everyone? Is it clear to everyone? अभी यहाँ तक समझ में आया कि हमने क्या करा क्या नहीं करा? किसी को किसी चीज में डाउट, यू कैन आस्क मी राइट नाउ। हिमांशु says yes sir, Som says yes sir, okay, Vivo says yes sir, okay, Rutura says yes sir. Okay, so it means that it is clear to everyone till here itself that what we have done, right? Ankita also says yes sir, right? So let's move ahead, ठीक है? तो हमने ये अपना मॉडल में अपना डेटा डिफाइन कर दिया that yes will be we have fitted our data that is x and y itself, ठीक है? अब अब हमारा क्या था, अब हमारा उसके बाद हमने मॉडल फिट कर दिया, अब उसके बाद हम चेक करेंगे मॉडल प्रिडिक्ट क्या कर रहा है, राइट? दिस वाज द थिंग। सो आई विल अगेन कम टू दिस पॉइंट नाउ, हियर आई विल राइट that what my model is predicting. So I will make one another variable that is log dot predict. So it means that logistic regression का जो हमने मॉडल लगाया उसका logistic prediction is equals to model, sorry, log model dot predict that will be followed by this parenthesis, और इसके अंदर हम क्या कौन सा पास करेंगे? हम पास करेंगे x test, right? So I will write here x test. I will run this one, right? Now if I will write here log underscore predict, you will be getting the prediction which has been made by your specific model that is in the form of 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1, right? Now this we have done, but we instead of this what we have to do, इसके बाद हमें चेक करना है that what your model, हमको मॉडल को इवेल्युएट करना है, राइट? हमने क्या क्या चेक कर लिया? हमने मॉडल क्रिएट करा, मॉडल के अंदर डेटा डाला, फिर हमने चेक करा कि मॉडल क्या प्रिडिक्शन कर रहा है। नाउ वी हैव टू चेक दैट हाउ मच एक्यूरेट इज आर मॉडल स्पेसिफिकली, राइट? कि मेरा मॉडल कितना एक्यूरेट है, ठीक है? सो हाउ वी कैन डू दैट, विल बी यूजिंग अनदर लाइब्रेरी दैट फ्रॉम sklearn, we can say this one dot metrics. So sklearn dot metrics, sorry, here it will be metrics import accuracy score, right? We'll be using this thing. Now this time I will be writing logistic accuracy is equals to accuracy score followed by this parenthesis. Here I will be passing y test along with this model one, this one as well, log prediction, दिस वन दैट मेरा मॉडल ने जो प्रिडिक्ट करा और उसको हमने नया डेटा डाल करके चेक करेंगे कि मेरा मॉडल कितना सही है, राइट? I will print this thing log accuracy, so you can have a look that your model is 81% accurate this time, right? How many of you got the point that how to create a specific model, how we can check the model, how we can evaluate the model, how what my model is predicting, how we can check that as well? So how many of you got the points? For how many of you it is clear till here? Okay, Ankita says it's clear, sir. Okay. What about rest? For how many of you it is clear? Okay. Som says yes, clear, sir. Okay. Rupa says clear. Okay. What about rest? Where are you all? आज कहाँ हो सारे? खो गए अपने में? right? Okay, now I am getting yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, yes, it's clear, right? Now, moving ahead, let's suppose. So the scenario comes over here again, something that is to be related to the कि हम चेक कैसे करते हैं, राइट? हमारे पास एक्यूरेसी आया, दिस वी वर हैविंग दिस एक्यूरेसी, राइट? तो ये हमें कैसे पता चला कि लाइक वी कैन यूज दिस एक्यूरेसी और समथिंग लाइक दैट, ठीक है? तो उसको हम बोलते हैं परफॉर्मेंस मैट्रिक्स। आई विल राइट हियर, टू दैट वी यूज टू कॉल इट एज अ परफॉर्मेंस मैट्रिक्स, राइट? Now, how we usually calculate this performance matrix? This is the main concern, right? कि हम performance matrix कैसे calculate करते हैं, right? Now, let's see this thing clearly. See, for example, let's suppose we have created a model, right? Let's suppose we have created a model. As usual, we have already created one model that was logistic regression, ठीक है? अब उसको हमने evaluate करा, ठीक है? तो जब हम इवेल्युएट करते हैं तो हमने उसमें देखा कि हमने एक्यूरेसी यूज करा, राइट? तो वैसे ही एक्यूरेसी की तरह बहुत सारे हमारे पास इवेल्युएशन मेथड्स होते हैं। सो दीज मेथड्स आर डिफरेंट फॉर क्लासिफिकेशन, दे आर डिफरेंट फॉर रिग्रेशन, ठीक है? सो दिस टाइम वी आर सीइंग फॉर क्लासिफिकेशन। क्लासिफिकेशन, अभी हम क्लासिफिकेशन का देख रहे हैं कि वो कैसे यूज होता है। नाउ लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल। फॉर एग्जांपल, आई एम हैविंग अ डेटा सेट, राइट? I'm having one data set that is having some data x1 and x2. I'm having two columns x1, x2, and after that I'm having y and y hat. I'm having these four columns, right? I'm having some data here, here, right? मेरे पास कुछ कुछ डेटा है सारी जगह, और यहाँ पे मेरे पास इसका ये जो y है, दिस इज माय एक्चुअल प्रिडिक्शन एंड दिस इज माय मॉडल्स प्रिडिक्शन, मॉडल्स प्रिडिक्शन, राइट? माय एक्चुअल प्रिडिक्शन क्या था? इट वाज 0 1 0 1 1, राइट? एंड माय मॉडल, व्हाट माय मॉडल प्रिडिक्टेड, इट्स 1 1 0 1 1, ठीक है? मेरा मॉडल ने ये प्रिडिक्ट कर दिया, राइट? सो अब मेरे मॉडल ने कितना सही प्रिडिक्ट करा, लेट्स ऑब्जर्व दैट, ठीक है? जस्ट हैव अ लुक ओवर हियर। ये वाला रॉन्ग हो गया, राइट? दिस वन इज राइट, दिस वन इज राइट, दिस वन इज राइट, दिस वन इज राइट, ठीक है? ये मेरे पास चार राइट आ गए। लेट्स सपोज मान लो फोर, फोर आर करेक्ट एंड लेट्स सपोज थ्री आर रॉन्ग, ठीक है? तो जब मेरे पास ये गलत आ गया या सही आ गया, तो ये हम डिसाइड कैसे कर रहे हैं दैट माई मॉडल इज दिस मच करेक्ट एंड दिस मच रॉन्ग? हाउ वी आर डिसाइडिंग दैट, राइट? सो वही जो डिसाइड कर रहे हैं दैट इज ऑन मल्टीपल कंडीशंस, वो कंडीशंस के ऊपर डिसाइड करते हैं। लेट्स सपोज, जो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट सिनेरियो दैट इज कॉल्ड टू बी योर कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स, कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स, राइट? सो ये थोड़ा इसका नाम ही ऐसा है, कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स इज गोइंग टू कंफ्यूज यू, कंफ्यूज यू इटसेल्फ इफ यू आर नॉट लिसनिंग इट केयरफुली, राइट? सो ध्यान से सुनना, जहां पे जो भी डाउट लगे यू कैन डायरेक्टली आस्क टू मी, राइट? नाउ जस्ट हैव अ लुक। सो जो ये कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स है, वी यूज टू कॉल इट एज अ टू क्रॉस टू मैट्रिक्स, टू क्रॉस टू मैट्रिक्स, right? So this is what we used to call it. Now the scenario is that 2 cross 2 matrix क्यों बोलते हैं? Because we have, yeah, I'll use this thing. So we have, it is being used in the matrix, in matrix itself, right? See, so ये हमारा कुछ 2 cross 2 का मैट्रिक्स होता है, right? Here we used to write the predicted values. Here we used to write the actual values. Here we used to write the actual values, ठीक है? Let's suppose मैं यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ yes, यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ नो, यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ यस, यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ नो। ठीक है, 2x2 का मैट्रिक्स है। इसको बहुत ही ज्यादा सिंपल तरीके से मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस। यहाँ पे मेरे पास ये दोनों मेरे पास प्रेडिक्टेड के कॉलम है, ये दोनों मेरे पास एक्चुअल मतलब जो एक्चुअल वैल्यूज थी उनके कॉलम है, राइट। अब लेट्स सपोज एक यूजर आया एंड ही दैट यूजर इज सेइंग दैट ही थिंक्स ही इज डायबिटिक, राइट। और लेट्स सपोज उससे पहले भी इसको थोड़ा और इजी कर देते हैं, ठीक है। जिधर आप लेट्स लुक फ्रॉम द प्रिडिक्शन साइड, जो हमारे पास प्रिडिक्टेड है ना, प्रिडिक्टेड प्रिडिक्टेड वाले दो कॉलम्स हैं, यस एंड नो। तो जहां पे यस है राइट, राइट पॉजिटिव, पॉजिटिव, राइट। जहां पे नो है राइट नेगेटिव, नेगेटिव। ठीक है, जहां पे यस है वहां पे राइट पॉजिटिव, पॉजिटिव। जहां पे नो है वहां पे राइट नेगेटिव, नेगेटिव, राइट। अब लेट्स सपोज कि हमारे पास एक यूजर आया एंड ही सेज ही थिंक्स दैट ही इज डायबिटिक, और डॉक्टर ने भी बोल दिया यस यू आर डायबिटिक। तो इस टाइम पे क्या हुआ, इस टाइम पे जो कंडीशन हो गई वो ट्रू हो गई। सो आई विल राइट हियर ट्रू, राइट। So this time the condition became true. Now let's look over the another condition. Ki he is thinking that he is diabetic, but the doctor is saying no, you are not diabetic. So this time the condition became false, right? तो यहाँ पे I will write here false. ठीक है? Now let's look over the another scenario, that a patient comes and he thinks that he is not diabetic, but doctor says that you are diabetic. So again the situation becomes false over here, right? Now he is thinking that he is not diabetic, and doctor has also confirmed that yes, you are not diabetic. It means this condition is true, right? So this is how the confusion matrix is being created. अभी क्लियर हुआ सबको यहाँ तक that how it is created? Just tell me about this thing. Is it clear to everyone, or should I repeat it once again? Okay, Som says it's clear, sir. Ankita says it's clear, sir. Priyanka says done. Okay. Rutra says yes, sir. Okay, so it's clear till here for everyone, right? Now just have a look to the another scenario. That is, for example, अब देखो कैसे। For example, we have created this thing, ठीक है। तो अब based on this confusion matrix, right? Based on this confusion matrix, we used to start with the multiple scenarios. Let's suppose we'll be starting with the first thing that is called to be your accuracy. Let's convert it into different color, right? So first thing that is accuracy. अभी समझ में आया कि एक्यूरेसी कहां से आता है? दैट कम्स फ्रॉम दिस कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स ओनली। तो जो एक्यूरेसी होता है इसका फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? दैट इज टीपी, राइट। टीपी डिवाइडेड टीपी प्लस टीएन, ठीक है। ये दोनों ट्रू वाले, दोनों ट्रू वाले, ये और ये, राइट। ये दोनों ट्रू वाले ले लिए, डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल। व्हाट डज दैट टोटल मीन्स? दैट इज टीपी प्लस टीएन डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस एफ एन प्लस एफ पी प्लस टी एन। दिस इज द फॉर्मूला। तो ये जो हमने एक्यूरेसी देखी ना यहाँ पे, ये जो हमने ये एक्यूरेसी देखी दैट इज 81%, वो एक्यूरेसी इसी फॉर्मूले की वजह से आई, राइट। इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन नाउ दैट हाउ एक्यूरेसी इज बीइंग कैलकुलेटेड? अभी पता चल गया? ओके, ऋतुराज सेज यस। व्हाट अबाउट अदर्स? डिड यू गॉट द पॉइंट्स? ओके, सोम सेज यस। Is there someone who is having any doubt? You can directly ask me. I can do that. I can repeat that again. Okay, right. It is clear for everyone, right? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now just have a look to the towards the another scenario. ठीक है? अब एक और सिनेरियो आया that now just tell me that just one question for you all. Can we use this accuracy for every single time? हम हर बार accuracy यूज कर सकते हैं या फिर नहीं कर सकते? Just tell me about this only. Yes or no? Okay, Soham says no. What about others? Okay, I'm looking over the chat. So Rutura says no, we cannot. Sneha says yes, sir, we can do. Okay. Priyanka says no. Ankita says no idea. Okay. Okay, no worries. Right. Just have a look. अब देखो सिनेरियोस देखो, ठीक है। अब अभी आप खुद आंसर देना दैट वी कैन डू और नॉट। लेट्स सपोज मेरे पास एक डेटा सेट है, ठीक है। आई एम हैविंग अ डेटा सेट, राइट। एंड दैट डेटा सेट इज हैविंग 1000 rows, 1000 rows, राइट, इन विच आई एम हैविंग द वैल्यूज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ 0 and 1, ठीक है। तो 0 की जो वैल्यू थी दैट इज 900 और 1 की जो वैल्यू थी दैट इज 100, ठीक है। सो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, यहाँ पे माई डेटा बिकेम बायस्ड, राइट। बायस्ड हो गया किसकी तरफ, टुवर्ड्स 0, राइट। नाउ जस्ट टेल मी, अगर मैं एक्यूरेसी निकालूंगा, अब मैं अगर एक्यूरेसी निकालूंगा तो मेरी एक्यूरेसी सही आएगी या गलत आएगी? जस्ट टेल मी अबाउट दिस थिंग, राइट और रॉन्ग। जस्ट ड्रॉप योर आंसर्स। Answers. Ankita says wrong. Okay. Rutura says wrong. Okay. What about others? What do you think about this? You will get the right accuracy or wrong accuracy. Okay. So as you both replied for this thing, so just tell me that why you will be getting the wrong answer. Wrong accuracy क्यों आएगी उसकी? Just tell me about this thing. Sneha says, sir, how is that 0? Okay, Som says, can you repeat again? Let's suppose, say, see, Sneha, you also just listen the question carefully, ठीक है। मेरे पास एक डेटा सेट है, that data set is having 1000 rows and that data set is in the form of 0 and 1 only, ठीक है। And I have defined that 900 values are having 0 values, 0 0 0 0, right? 900 rows are having the value 0 and only 100 rows are having the value 1. Now this time if I will be checking my accuracy, I will be getting a good accuracy or bad accuracy. Just tell me about this thing. Yes, Ruturaj, you are right. Okay, Som says bad. What about Sneha? Is it going to be a good accuracy or bad accuracy? Okay, just have a look. Right. So अगर मैं इसका accuracy निकालूंगा, right, तो it is going to be easily 90%. Sorry, it is going to be easily 90% for 0, right? 0 के लिए तो 90% हो गया। अब मान लो ये मेरा सर्वाइव्ड वाला कॉलम था, ठीक है। And in this, 0 means the person who died and 1 means the person who survived, ठीक है। तो इट मीन्स माई मॉडल बिकेम रॉन्ग, मेरा मॉडल फेल हो गया यहाँ पे, बिकॉज इट हैज सजेस्टेड फॉर 0 ओनली, द पर्सन हु डाइड। सर्वाइव्ड के लिए तो बताया ही नहीं, राइट। उसके लिए तो अब मेरे पास कोई फायदा हुआ ही नहीं। सो इस तरीके की जब सिचुएशन आती है हमारे पास, देन एक्यूरेसी डजंट वर्क्स हेयर, राइट। तो यहाँ पे हम यूज करते हैं टू थिंग्स, दैट इज योर, आई विल क्रिएट दिस confusion matrix once again. TP, TN, FN, FP, right? This is actual one. Yes, no, yes, no, or the predicted one. ठीक है। नाउ जस्ट हैव अ लुक। तो यहाँ पे हम दो चीजें यूज करते हैं। फर्स्ट इज योर प्रिसीजन एंड द सेकेंड वन इज योर recall, right? So these are the two things which we used to use over here, right? Now just have a look. Precision का जो फॉर्मूला होता है that is TP divided by predicted yes, और recall का जो फॉर्मूला होता है that is TP divided by actual yes, ठीक है। अब actual yes और predicted yes का मतलब क्या? It means that इफ वी टॉक अबाउट प्रिडिक्टेड यस, मतलब कि ये दोनों कॉलम, प्रिडिक्टेड यस वाला कॉलम, राइट। सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी, द फॉर्मूला इज गोइंग टू बी टीपी डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस एफपी, राइट। और जब रिकॉल का बात होता है देन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्चुअल यस, यानी कि ये वाला कॉलम, एक्चुअल यस वाला, राइट? सो इट मीन्स द फॉर्मूला इज गोइंग टू बी टीपी डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस Fn, right? So this is how we generally state the formulas. Is it clear for everyone till here? Yes or no? Just tell me about this thing. Okay. This one says yes, 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 it is clear. What about others? Where are you all? Okay. Yes. Priyanka says yes, yes. Okay. That's totally great. Right. So it's clear for everyone till here, right? So let's move ahead. Now, see, अब प्रिसीजन और रिकॉल होता क्या है बेसिकली, राइट? सो प्रिसीजन मींस, सी, प्रिसीजन मींस out of all the predicted results, right? Out of all the predicted results, how many are correctly predicted, right? और रिकॉल क्या होता है? दैट आउट ऑफ ऑल द एक्चुअल रिजल्ट्स, एक्चुअल रिजल्ट्स, हाउ मेनी आर करेक्टली प्रिडिक्टेड, राइट? ये दो सिनेरियो होता है, ये वर्क होता है प्रिडिक्टेड वाले पे, ये होता है एक्चुअल वाले पे, राइट? तो अब देखो, इसमें ना करना क्या होता है हमें कि ये जो हमारे पास फॉर्मूला था, क्या फॉर्मूला था टीपी का? क्या इसका फॉर्मूला क्या था प्रिसीजन का? दैट वाज टीपी डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस में एफपी। और रिकॉल का क्या फॉर्मूला था? टीपी डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस में Fn, राइट? तो इसमें हमें क्या करना होता है? टीपी जो है, जो टीपी है, उसको हमको इंक्रीज करना होता है, और जो एफपी है उसको हमको रिड्यूस करना होता है, जितना रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं, राइट? सेम अकॉर्डिंग टू रिकॉल, रिकॉल में हमें टीपी को, जो हमारे पास टीपी है उसको हमको इंक्रीज करना होता है, और जो हमारे पास एफ एन है उसको हमको रिड्यूस करना होता है। मैं जितना रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं हम उसको उतना रिड्यूस करते हैं, राइट? तो दिस इज व्हाट वी यूज टू डू इन बोथ ऑफ दिस। ठीक है, तो अब एक सिनेरियो देखो, सिनेरियो से समझते हैं कि कब हमें प्रिसीजन यूज यूज करना है और कब हमें रिकॉल यूज करना है। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दिस थिंग, राइट? तो मैं एक सिनेरियो लेता हूं, दैट इज फॉर स्पैम क्लासिफिकेशन, ठीक है? स्पैम क्लासिफिकेशन, ठीक है? लेट्स टेक द सिनेरियो। लेट्स सपोज आई हैव गॉट द मेल, आई हैव गॉट द मेल, राइट? तो जो मेरे पास मेल आया, ठीक है, अब जस्ट जस्ट हैव अ लुक कि मेरे पास एक मेल आया और वो मेल मेरा सीधा स्पैम में चला गया, ठीक है? एंड माई मॉडल इज ऑल्सो सेइंग दैट इट वॉज स्पैम मेल। मेरे मॉडल ने भी बोला कि वो स्पैम मेल था। तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत ही बढ़िया मॉडल हुआ, राइट? इट वॉज गुड मॉडल फॉर मी, राइट? नाउ लेट्स लुक हैव अ लुक ओवर द अनदर सिनेरियो वेयर माई मेल, मेरे को एक मेल आया, आई रिसीव्ड अ मेल दैट गोज इनटू स्पैम, राइट? बट माई मॉडल सेज दैट इट वॉज नॉट स्पैम, राइट? ये भी सिनेरियो इट विल वर्क फॉर मी, इट वर्क्स, राइट? दिस सिनेरियो ऑल्सो वर्क्स फॉर मी। अगर लेट्स सपोज मेरे मॉडल ने बोल दिया नो इट वॉज नॉट अ स्पैम, आपके इनबॉक्स में जाएगा तो आई विल सी, मैं उसको देखूंगा एंड आई विल मार्क इट एज अ स्पैम, राइट? नाउ लेट्स कम टू द थर्ड सिनेरियो। माय मेल कम्स, राइट, directly goes into spam, right? And my model says, right, and my model says that, अरे sorry, a mail comes to me that was not spam, not spam, and my model says it was spam, right? So it is going to be a blunder for me, right? अब ये मेरे लिए ब्लंडर क्रिएट कर देगा। कैसे? कि लेट्स सपोज कि मेरी कोई एक इंपॉर्टेंट मेल आने वाली थी और वो मेरे मॉडल की वजह से वो स्पैम में चली गई और उसके बाद मेरे को पता नहीं चला। सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ बिग बिग प्रॉब्लम फॉर मी, राइट? सो इस तरीके की प्रॉब्लम को आओ समझते हैं अब कैसे। तो ये थर्ड वाले सिनेरियो को समझते हैं। तो दिस वाज द एक्चुअल वन, ये एक्चुअल था, एंड दिस वाज प्रिडिक्टेड बाय माय मॉडल्स। ये मेरा मॉडल का प्रिडिक्टेड था, मॉडल प्रिडिक्टेड, राइट। अब मेरा प्रिसीजन का फॉर्मूला क्या कहता है? प्रिसीजन का फॉर्मूला क्या कहता है? दैट इज टीपी डिवाइडेड बाय टीपी प्लस एफपी, राइट। एफपी होता है। नाउ अगर मैं अब इसका कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स बनाऊं, ठीक है, अगर मैं इसका कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स बनाऊं, सो दिस वाज द एक्चुअल वन, दिस वाज द प्रिडिक्टेड वन, ठीक है। ये मेरा बोलता है spam, is spam, this is spam, this is not. Again I will be saying p, fp, fn, tn, right। अब देखो, अपने मॉडल के अकॉर्डिंग देखेंगे, राइट। my actual model was saying that it was not spam, right। my actual model was saying it was not spam, यानी कि ये वाला केस, this one, right। And my model, my predict saying it was a spam, so I will come over here, right। so यहाँ पे मेरे पास कौन सी दो चीजें आई? I got here TP and FP, right। so FP अब किसके फॉर्मूले में आता है? FP comes under precision formula, see here itself। so it means that if we will be having this type of problem, we will be using precision this time, right। अभी समझ में आया है यहाँ तक सबको? Have you got the point? Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? You got the points? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, done, done, done. See, अब ये प्रिसीजन का समझ में आ गया। Now let's talk about recall itself, right? That what we used to do in recall. ठीक है? Now, for example, I have taken another scenario. Let's suppose a person says, change the color. Okay, a person says he is diabetic, right? And your model says, uh, yes, you are diabetic, then it's good for me, right। then this scenario is very good for me कि दोनों ने सही बताया। now come to another scenario where it says, person says he is not diabetic, and your model says you are diabetic, ठीक है। this will also work for me, it works for me, राइट। ठीक है, मेरे मॉडल ने बोल दिया कि आप डायबिटिक हो, बट मैं डायबिटिक नहीं हूं, तो ठीक है, मेरे मॉडल ने बोला तो मैं एक बार जाकर के चेक करा लेता हूँ दैट वेदर आई एम डायबिटिक और नॉट, राइट। सो आई हैव गॉन विद दैट। सो यहाँ पे भी मेरे को कोई इशू नहीं आया, राइट। बट द थर्ड कंडीशन कम्स ओवर हियर दैट person was diabetic, but your model was saying he is not diabetic, right। so in this scenario it will create a blunder for me, right, it will create a blunder for me that a person diabetic and your model is saying that you are not diabetic, it means that you are going to lose your life, right। so this type of problem, let's see what we can do in this thing। so this was the actual one, this was the predicted one, right। again we'll be moving with the confusion matrix, let's move with the confusion matrix itself, right। I will create a confusion matrix over here, so it's going to be something like this, or we can plan it here। Okay, so it's going to be TP, FP, FN, TN. It's going to be diabetic, not diabetic, diabetic, not diabetic, right? This was for actual. This was for the predicted one, right? Now just have a look. My model is saying my actual was, what was the actual? Actual was diabetic, right? So actual was saying diabetic, this one. Actual was saying diabetic. And predicted was saying not diabetic. So predicted was saying not diabetic, this one. So it will be coming over this one. So in this, we are getting two things, TP and FN. So this time we have to focus on FN only. So FN comes into which formula? It comes into recall formula. That is TP divided by TP plus में FN, right? So this time what we are going to do, we are going to use the recall itself, right? We have got this FN and we are going to use the recall this time, right? So is it clear for everyone this time? Yes or no? Tell me about this. Is it clear for everyone? Yes or no? Okay. If we want to write a program on this, how to create it? Yes, you can do. Okay. Yes, everyone, have you got the points? Yes or no, everyone? Just state your. I'm looking over the chats. Drop your answers fast. Okay. Rudra says yes. He got the points, right? What about rest? Have you got that? Okay. Okay, okay. I can see there are multiple yeses over there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. That totally great. Right? Yeah. Now the scenario is that कि जब भी हम ये सारी चीजें यूज करते हैं, we have to. Okay. I'm getting something. Okay, Soham says yes. Soham, you can ask. Kush says yes. Soham, you can ask your doubt. I'm looking over the chat. So you can ask your doubt. Okay, if you are writing, it's fine. सर क्या इट्स वर्क भी ब्लेंडर का वर्क कर रहा है? नो, इट्स नॉट वर्किंग फॉर द ब्लेंडर इटसेल्फ. देखो, यहाँ पे क्या है ना कि see, if person is not diabetic, right, and if your model is saying diabetic, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे भी ब्लेंडर का काम कर रहा है, बट स्टिल यहाँ पे ये आपके लिए चल जाएगा, ये मॉडल आपके लिए वर्क करेगा कि चलो आपके मॉडल ने बोला है दैट यू आर डायबिटिक, तो आप जाओगे डायग्नोस करवाओगे और आप यू विल गेट कम विद द रिजल्ट्स. नो, ठीक है, आपके मॉडल ने यहाँ पे गलत प्रेडिक्ट कर दिया था, राइट? बट व्हाट इफ कि आप डायबिटिक हो एंड योर मॉडल इज प्रिडिक्टिंग दैट यू आर नॉट डायबिटिक, और आप अपने मॉडल के ऊपर रिलाई करके एंड यू आर नॉट गोइंग फॉर द डायग्नोसिस. सो एट दैट टाइम इट विल बी क्रिएटिंग अ मोर ब्लंडर, राइट? सो दिस इज द मेन सिनेरियो. सो हैव यू गॉट दिस? Yes, okay. So any other doubts? If you have any doubts, you can ask me right now. Yeah, I'm looking over the chat section. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, any related to anything itself. Okay. Okay, okay. Nothing is there for everyone. Okay, so just do one thing, just scan the QR code so that we can move ahead. Scan the QR code, everyone, and mark your attendance just right now. Okay, Ankita says, sir, repeat recall and precision formula, please. Okay, just have a look. So for this recall and precision, for this precision, It's TP divided by TP plus FP, right? For this recall, it's TP divided by TP plus FN, right? Huh. Yes. Now you can note it down. Those who want, you can note it from here. This is the formula for both. Done? Are you all done with this thing? Have you noted that? Okay, Sneha says, which one, Sneha? I have answered that yes, you can do that specifically. So today was the last class, everyone, for this specific PBL, right? So this was last when you were meeting me. We'll be meeting in the multiple more sessions. If it is going to be aligned for you all, then we will be meeting. Or else it was the last one, right? Yes, yes. Okay. Raj is saying, sir, would the counseling session be the next one? It's not exactly like that, right? So basically, this was the last session only where we were moving with the capstone project, right? So this is what we were doing over here, right? So you can plan with the multiple, we can say you can, once you are done with this specific course now. This course is totally enough for this AI. You have got multiple scenarios in this. You have got the basics of that everything. Either it can be deep learning, either it can be machine learning, either it can be NLP, generative AI, whatever it is going to be. You have got all the basics related to this thing, right? And whatever the domain you are feeling you are getting the interest, you can proceed with that domain specifically, and accordingly you can look for your careers as well, right? So you can completing all of these things: Python, machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, NLP, or we can say after this thing your generative AI. So you can apply for the data scientist, you can apply for the data analyst, you can apply for the AI engineers, AI analysts, data engineers, and multiple roles are there specifically over which you can apply and you can gain the things, right? So this is how the scenario goes, right? So just scan the QR code, and after that, we'll be moving with the rest of the things. Done, right? So please drop done in the chat box once you are done with this thing. Okay, Som says done. Rutra says, I wish many more such classes are there. Sure, obviously, Rutraj, thanks for that. If there will be something, we'll be aligning soon, right? Done, done. Ankita says done. Okay. Nikhil says done. Okay. Okay. Bus last tha. Lakshita, it was last. Today it was last, right? Ankita says thank you so thank you, sir, for the great journey of learning with you. Thank you, Ankita. Done. Thank you for today's lecture. Thank you. Done, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ruturaj. Okay. So that was all from my end, right? Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. We'll see you soon if something aligns, right? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, obviously. Right. Okay. Okay, then. Bye bye, everyone. Have a nice day.